Hello YouTube, it's Viva Gomez here, and today I'll be talking about something that was just announced recently by Respawn Entertainment, and that is the monsters that will be included in the gameplay, the giant creatures, the Leviathans. So some of you may have heard, some of you may have not. They're going to be adding these creatures within several maps, and they will affect the gameplay in different ways. I'm really excited for this feature, so I'm going to go over several pictures, some articles, and I'm going to be talking about the single-player background that's part of this multiplayer-only game. And the story behind it and why they're going to include monsters. I mean, it doesn't seem like something that would fit in a game about mechs and soldiers fighting each other, but it surprisingly does. So I'm going to go through several details about that. Right here, we have on this link from GameSpot. Now, this picture is provided from IGN. This is a picture of the art book that is going to be coming out in just a few days. It's going to be coming out on February 25th, I believe. Right, I'm going to go through several of the monsters and just what I think of them. So right here we have what looks like a Banshee. This is the closest representation I can think of. The Banshee from Avatar, the creatures that the Na'vi rode. Now, it does look a lot more menacing. I think it looks a lot like the Banshee because of the four rings. Of course, this skull that it has looks very menacing. It doesn't even look like it has eyes. It looks like just some mandibles sticking out from its head and some talons on its feet. So obviously these creatures are not meant to be very friendly. And just as a reminder, these are all concept creatures. These could be included in the game in some form or another. They could be completely excluded. Now this is just concepts that they have. So none of these creatures are confirmed, but I will show you one in just a second that is. Right here we have what looks like some concept designs for a feline type creature. It looks like a feline, mammalian kind of animal. Possibly reptilian, who knows, but it looks something akin to this one. Kind of reminds me of the monster from Attack of the Clones, the second Star Wars, in the arena where they're the one that's trying to kill Princess Leia with the spikes on it, although it is more upright, but it does look like some kind of predator. And this one right here we have in the upper left reminds me of some kind of rock creature. It could be like a terrestrial jungle-like crustacean kind of monster. It looks like its body is almost formed of the rocks. Right here we have some kind of giant insect, some kind of giant mosquito-looking creature. Now this looks very menacing as well. Right here where it looks like a dragon of some sort, or of kind of reminds me of Smaug actually from The Hobbit, or of the Cloverfield creature with wings, albeit. So I bet you this one is going to be a very large monster if it is included. And what we have is some kind of sauropod kind of monster with some blades on its back. So I'm going to show you a little clip that's from the Titanfall website, from the trailer. Stand by for Titanfall gameplay trailer. So you might want to keep your eyes open. This is where the monster is going to be. This is just right before it. Now you're going to see something fly overhead around this direction, and you're going to see, hopefully, how small in comparison it is to this giant monster. So it's only about 3 seconds or so. It's very short, but I'll show you. So let's show you. So as you can see, here, we have a picture right here, just a little one right here, from the trailer. As you can see, this monster is huge. If you look at the city backdrop, and if you saw that ship or that kind of craft flying by, this thing looks absolutely enormous. And I hope that's into the gameplay of some sort. I hope that in the map that this is on, you fight around, maybe around its feet, or maybe your objective is to destroy it, or it comes, stampeding through the map some way. I hope that's implemented in the multiplayer. Now, in this quote from IGN, the monsters in the gameplay, they will walk or fly around levels harmlessly until people interfere. Others will attack when you just stare at them. So that is pretty cool. This one doesn't look like a predator of any or some kind of aggressive animal, but any animal can be aggressive, and especially on some foreign alien planet, it's going to be something that's going to be huge and aggressive. So I hope that this is implemented in some way. So we're going to talk about the story behind this. So I'm going to go to some pictures. I'm just going to leave it on this picture right here that we have. So as you can see, here's a picture from the beta. Let me see if I can get it to go full screen. So this is a picture from the beta or some kind of gameplay. There are factions in this. If you have played the beta, you'll know this. There is the IMC, which is the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, and you'll see these on the right here, along with the soldiers. You can tell by their white paint decals and their more modern or advanced-looking hardware. And the other faction that we have is the Frontier Militia, which will be this Titan right here. Now, there's no soldiers that you can see in the background, and their decal and their painting, their fatigues is more green and faded, a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more simple. So the story behind this is that the IMC, the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, after these planets were discovered, now there's this place called the Frontier, and these is faraway solar system or galaxy, and it's new planets, and so they start forming colonies on these planets. As you can see in the background, there's these buildings right here, and so the IMC, the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, starts after the colonies are established. They start putting in mining operations, and they start building and constructing, and they start getting materials and minerals and all this stuff from the planets. It kind of reminds me very similar of Avatar almost, how they're trying to get the I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called unobtainium. This is just what I've found on researching several things, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what they're looking for, but as you can see in the background, these buildings are in ruins a little bit. It's sort of the ghost of a former utopia. Now, if you've played on this map, you'll know that there are several what looks like oil rigs or oil dregs. When they're going in the ground, they kind of smash in the ground, almost like pounding the ground down. Now you can see there's several fractures in the earth right here. Now this is probably from earthquakes, and as you can see in the map, and even on the loading menu, you can see how it talks about how it's former ruins and how the mining has kind of destroyed it. Now, the story behind this is when they first went to these planets and they got all the colonies in, you were greeted by this fauna, this foreign fauna, and they had these huge monsters. So, you can see the size of a human and the size of a Titan, and what's going to go better against some giant monster that is incredibly deadly. Now, these Titans, obviously, are going to be better. So, they started creating these Titans. There's different corporations. I believe the Hammond Corporation is the main manufacturer of the Titans, the ones that were started manufacturing them. The Atlas model was the first one. So, they started doing this, and as in many media that you've seen, especially, I'm harkening back to Avatar a lot. This reminds me very much of Avatar. They abused the land. They abused the citizens and the colonists. So the Frontier Militia was established, and what they had was, quote, citizen soldiers. So they fight back against each other. And that is kind of the story behind the whole game as a whole. So you have these two different factions. You have the oppressive IMC fighting against the oppressed Frontier Militia. So after these monsters are established, these Titans are built to defend themselves. They use it instead to fight each other. So I find that very interesting. I'm very excited for the single-player details because many people are very on the edge about getting this game. A lot of people are very wary that this is just for multiplayer, and there have been games like that before. And personally, I like having both in them. Like, a good example would be Battlefield. There is a campaign and a multiplayer, and the campaign does have a story, obviously, which did keep my attention for a while, but I mainly play that for the multiplayer. But the multiplayer can get stale. You just start a match. There is kind of a backstory if you play the campaign. Bad Company 2 did a better job at that, talking about the backstory. But in Battlefield, you just play the match and you finish it, and there's no real story that continues. And in this one, it seems like they actually have something that is ongoing, and they have a lot of background to each scenario that they're going on. Now, the beta didn't have much. You just kind of drop in and fight each other. But I'm really hoping that when the full game is released, the retail game, that they kind of have an introduction to it at least. In the trailers you may have seen, they do have some promotional videos for the in-game corporations, fake advertisements. And in the beta, when you first start out, they have a training video, and you're in a training pod, and you see the background, and you're on a ship. Now, I hope that my wish for this game is that through each match, that you start like a playlist almost. You enter a game and the story progresses through each map, so it won't be really a recycled map. So if you play, say on this match right here, you start that, and whoever wins, it decides the next scenario for the game. So say the Frontier Militia wins. Now for the IMC, that would mean having to fall back to another place, and so the Frontier Militia starts on a different side, or they have the upper hand, or there's even like some in-game commentary about how, okay, we're pushing them back, we're winning. And I think that'll be a really cool way to make this game revolutionary. Now, a lot of people have been saying this game is the next-gen revolutionary game that will change gameplay for the future, and my hopes are very high for this. I was very impressed with the multiplayer. You can see my alpha impressions on this. The alpha is very, very, very similar from the beta. In fact, I could barely tell any differences besides the added weapons and the Titan customization. But I'm very excited for this game. I have high hopes for this. I'm very excited about all the details that we're talking about. I'm really excited for all the news that's coming out. I can't wait to see the monsters in the gameplay. So if you have any kind of questions, feel free to send me a comment, or a message, or leave a comment. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll have some more Titanfall stuff. Cheers.